Hello everyone, welcome to What Does the Cat Say? How you doing, how has your past week been? Hopefully everything's been going good, everything's been smooth. Hopefully y'all haven't died from the heat, because, God, it has been spicy, and I'm not just talking about people's attitudes. But yeah, hope everybody doing swell and whatnot. Yeah, so this is the first, official, true episode of this podcast. I think so far how it's going to go is every Monday I will be dropping the episodes, so recording the night before and so on, and kind of just, I don't know, blabbering about the week past and going forward on stuff. Yeah. So right now, this, I don't know, past week's been chaotic because I keep needing to work on packing because I am moving. And stuff. I was taking up a lot of my time. Second week streams where I've been playing that Claire Obscure Expedition 33. That game is wild in both good ways and bad ways. The story is confusing me, which is like not bad. Just to give a good context without spoilers, I have maybe a couple hours into Act 2, so still fairly early into the story. But yeah, no, the story has been complex so far where I'm just sitting there, I'm like, okay, we get some answers, but now we have 5 more questions added to the list of questions in lieu of that one answer. And, I've heard a lot of good reviews, so I'm guessing the story answers a lot of those questions and stuff going forward. Because my concern right now, being completely oblivious to any spoilers and in context of the story right now, is that when you have stories like this that are complex, and one of the ones that comes to my mind is the TV show from the mid 2000s, Lost, where if you make it be too complex, you have to make it complex in a way where the way out of the story. Because I know Lost was one where they had all this stuff. I know part of it too was there was that writer's strike at the time that kind of helped kind of make the writing be a little odd and left a lot of the plot holes there till the end. But yeah, I don't know. When it comes to and that's where I kind of get worried. It's when you see these complex things where there's so many questions, stuff is just my worry of, are you setting yourself up for me sitting there going, wow, there was 4 or 5 plot holes that just make no sense that you're not gonna explain? Or, is everything gonna kind of have a real good explanation, not just some kind of cop-out response? Because I know that's how most people, when Lost ended, kind of were not a fan of the ending, because it seemed like it was such a cop-out from all the mysterious twists and turns that series was doing over the multitude of seasons, and so on. Which I don't think Expedition 33 is gonna do, because I feel like if it did have a story that just fell flat, even without getting spoiled and hunting down news for it, I would assume I would have heard it somewhere being talked about. So yeah. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. It's neat. Very interesting how it's basically a Japanese turn-based, kind of RPG gameplay, but also very Dark Souls like. So, kind of has some Souls like elements to it, which for someone like me who's terrible at Souls likes, it's just And I also learned quickly the hard way too that it is a game that is very heavily designed for controller. Because one of my biggest gripes that I still have with the game is that it seems whenever I'm hitting, and so for some context, with its turn-based combat, when an enemy is attacking you, you can, if you time it right, do defensive maneuvers such as dodging, parrying, jumping. And now I learned about another one called gradient attack. Just more things to think about. And the problem I was having when I was trying to do it with keyboard and mouse, because that's, my main mode of playing games on computer, is I swear to God, the game could not decide when I was hitting my my mouse inputs whether or not to register, or not my keyboard inputs for like the parrying, the dodging, and stuff, to either it could not decide between being like, oh, I'm going to be responding instantly to your input, or I'm going to have a 1 second delay from you hitting dodge and then actually dodging. It just did not seem to have any consistency at all. And oh my God, I was about to, at one point, ready to like metaphorically, maybe literally, flip my my desk. It was getting frustrating. Thankfully, one of my community members in chat mentioned to try a controller, and it has mostly helped. Definitely seems the game was more designed for a controller, so switching to controller made it so the inputs for the most part were more responsive. However, there are still some moments where it seems to not register an input, so yeah, that's fun. And I mean, I said on stream before too, when it was happening with my keyboard, at least my keyboard isn't like not being registered, like as in like the key is broken. I have a custom keyboard that I built through Glorious Gaming, and I have like, I grabbed some of their most responsive keys. Like I can basically like, I haven't tried it yet, but I almost bet if I blow like hard enough on a key, I could probably get it to like register the actuation. It is so sensitive. But yeah, no, been loving that game. Playing a bit more Wild Assault stuff too, but like I haven't been able to do like too much for games, and just had just because moving. So yeah, that's great. And moving next month, which I'm excited for. Like, I don't know, some people on my age would be like, oh, moving back with my parents sucks, blah blah blah. Like, the economy is bad enough where I just don't care. And also my choice of moving back in with them wasn't because I have like no means of living where I'm living. There is a kind of a long-term plan of mine to this, of getting myself in a spot where I can one, afford and be approved of a mortgage, and I'll probably talk to my parents and just basically just buy the house off them, instead of trying to find another property somewhere. It's like, if I'm already living there and I know the house because it's the one I grew up in, it's like, might as well just keep it in the family for the most part. Of course, if they get like a ridiculously good offer for some reason from some crazy person, then, I'd probably yell at them for giving it to me instead. But yeah, so that's a little updates on me. Also, just kind of thoughts too, like how did everybody like the first 3 parts of I want to get into the little series there. I want to get into streaming. Hopefully, I'm bad at explaining things, and stuff. So I hope I kind of explained things pretty well. I mean, there was a lot of stuff in there, but I tried. I swear I tried. Tried to make it as straightforward as possible because, hopefully helps people. Like, I know there's a lot of tutorials and stuff out there for people to find and whatnot, so maybe it helped. I'm not sure. But yeah, and so I don't know. One thing I kind of want to blabble on about today too for a bit is also kind of being the first official, just standard yapping episode of this podcast. My thoughts on where I want this thing to go. So at least as of right now, I don't have a specific like topic or any kind of specific goal with the podcast, really. Just just some different kind of longer form content for the time being. I mean, again, it's in its infancy, so there's always gonna be room to adjust and grow to maybe how it naturally turns into, and so on. I mean, the thing is too is I do ingest quite a few different podcasts as well, so like I'm trying to also be careful in that I'm not just whether purposely or subconsciously, taking ideas or like kind of just making a off-brand uh type podcast thing. I don't know. Right now, how I'm feeling about it is it's probably gonna end up being kind of like a mix of so the two biggest podcasts that I like mainly ingest, just kind of little shout outs and understanding, is the Distractable podcast by the YouTubing trio Bob, Mark, and Wade, which that one I've listened to the entire series of it, which is like 5 episodes over a couple of years of nonstop listening. And also now off and on been following Bill Burr, listen to his podcast when he does his Monday and Thursday episodes, which I know for me, at least for the time being, I'm probably going to just stick to one podcast upload a week because my life ain't that entertaining to have 2 episodes. And right now, I mean, too, there's just not enough. I would say not enough going on to warrant multiple uploads a week, except for if I maybe have to do another installment in the I want to get into streaming, then I might have that be a supplementary upload. But I'm a Catholic and only yap so much. But yeah, so those are the two. So like I don't know. I kind of feel like I'll probably mix a bit of elements with either because they're two kind of contrasting styles of podcasts. Because for those who don't know Distractables, they kind of have it so it's almost like it's a game each episode. They, a base kind of like a Whose Lines It Anyway type deal and stuff. And then Bill Burr is just yaps and chats about stuff. It kind of goes over different little news things going on like mainly on the Monday ones, and then the Thursday one's like a short little like midweek kind of check-in type deal. So I'm probably end up gonna have like a I can almost feel like I'm gonna probably end up having some kind of like hybrid type thing of that. I know for the normal episodes, like kind of this one, yeah, I'm just gonna be yapping, probably going over some goofy stuff. Like I know in my Discord, one of the new channels I put in based for this podcast is like I do want to do like a news, I guess you could say, segment, but it's not going to be your standard news segment. I don't need to talk about the current political situation in my country, the U.S., or shit happening in the world. Everyone talks about that, and if you're like me, it can get mentally taxing. So I want to so like in my Discord, I have a channel that I'm gonna probably try to do my own work with and let people post in. It's just goofy news because for every like, because that's the thing I kind of always find entertaining is when you can find those news articles that are just like humorously ridiculous, not, I don't know, depressingly ridiculous, like a lot of the news stories coming out around the world. So that's the other thing I would love to do is have maybe a recurring segment where I just go over some of the goofy news stories that are, I don't know, maybe I'll just start just stealing do what other people do, just start stealing content from the internet. Go because I know there's a subreddit called what is it called? It's like R Not the Onion, where it's kind of that idea where it's finding these most these super ridiculous news stories that almost sound like they could be a satirical article from the Onion, but they're not. They're like legitimate news stories that are happening, and they are just kind of over the top. So probably just do stuff like that. Didn't really prep for this first episode just because life has been chaotic with the move and whatnot, where I'm still in the packing phase. As of the time of this recording, I am doing a kind of a donathon to help try to raise funds for the move, because moving is expensive, and I'm very open about the fact that I am not a financially well-off person, clearly. But trying to do that, so that's happening all this week. I'm actually going to be doing something I don't normally do, which is I'm going to be streaming near daily all this week. on top of working still, just to kind of really push raising the funds, because unfortunately, I'll probably have to take a extended hiatus from streaming and stuff for a bit to, because I got two, because I got start as of this Wednesday. I'll have about, for at least my initial goal for the move date, about 3 weeks to go before I'm moving. So probably take those 3 weeks to basically just, if I have to go ham with IRL job and stuff, which actually that kind of thing could bring up a lot of great stories, because my main source of income is doing rideshare with Lyft. Apparently allergies are kicking in. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's a lot of fun stories, which thankfully this past week hasn't been too weird. A lot of good passengers. Very high paying one. I had to drive somebody nearly 3 hours one way to the next city over, and stuff. So that was a very good payout day. Just, and thankfully an easy drive, because it was like right after rush hour and shit. But no. So the weirdest thing that happened this week is actually actually after this podcast recording, and after I record this episode, I'm probably gonna go check on it. So someone had a beverage that they apparently, even though it was in a water bottle, like spilt. I don't know what the hell it was. It was something nasty, I know, because it had like a weird, like, vinegary smell to it. It just was odd. But yeah, no. So it happened middle of the week. Cleaned it up just fine. Like, took the cleaning fee that Lyft got me out of it. But what's been kind of odd about it is that it keeps coming back. So it was on the floor mat, that most of it was, and it got under the floor mat on like the actual, like, carpeted floor of my back seat. But for some reason the spot just keeps coming back. Like, I will like soap it up, like mop it up with like towels, paper towels, etc., and it'll be dry to the touch, but then all of a sudden I'll like go the next day just out of curiosity, pull up the floor mat, and then there's that wet circle again. So I don't know if it's that or because, and it still has the same like vinegary smell, so I think I don't know where it's coming from, the fact that it keeps coming back. So like unless there's a leak somewhere and some water's getting underneath the carpet, later today, when it stops being 100 degrees outside, I'm probably gonna go out and do like a kind of a deeper detailing of my backseat to kind of figure out what the hell that is, because it's just weird to me that I can mop it up with something and it'll be dry to the touch, and then like the next day all of a sudden it's back. I know I need to also get some of those like moisture, like air moisture, or like air drying whatchamacallits, as well, where you put like, I think it's more designed for like closets or something, but like, yeah, put like a little moisture, like one of those air drying like little bags of, I don't know, moisture absorbing stuff in my car for a couple days if I'm going to be not doing any ride share, because I think the humidity has gotten inside the car. So yeah, I don't know, shit like that's just annoying, because I pride myself, and my car is a year old, has almost 40,000 miles on it, and I would like to argue that the interior still looks just almost as new as it did the day I bought it, or drove it off the lot. I don't technically own it yet, minus just natural wear and tear and stuff. But God, some of those Lyft passengers really like to destroy shit. But I'm thankful though that 99% of my rides are chill as shit. Like, yeah, they got some horror stories, but thankfully most of the passengers are just super chill, keep to themselves, fun small talk. Yeah. So, yeah. And also, it's pretty damn good pay. Yeah. Yeah. Trying to think like whether hoopla to kind of yap about. I know saw something. Actually, one thing that's a little annoying is saw Valve was getting a little flack because they started removing some like basically adult porn games, not because it violated any like TOS from Valve. It's because I guess a card, a group that uses is like this really annoying like anti-adult content like super religious fruitcake group used a payment processing service to basically bully um Valve into removing some adult games. And granted, the stuff that they were trying to remove that got removed were hardcore um adult games that involve very um like not great topics. A lot of them, quite a few of them were like assault topics or you know, Sweet Home Alabama. I guess the way to put it without fucking putting out like just straight up saying it. But so not I mean not the greatest t- topics for even adult games. Um and like I don't know. For me, I look at it going, okay, so you know, it probably isn't the worst that those kind of games are being removed, but what makes it bad is it's not Valve's like TOS going, oh, those break our rules, we got to remove them. It's literally a payment processing company going, sorry, I don't want that there. And you're gonna do this, or else we will not let our payments go to you. And basically just doing the whole like money talks kind of bullshit. Um, and stuff. And it's a problem because yes, they like how those kind of groups start and how those payment processing companies have done it before is they'll start off with things that will be not too I guess pushed back on, where they'll be like, oh yeah, they'll remove this content, but then it's like what's gonna stop them from getting further along? What's gonna stop them from being like, oh, this, you know, because what's going to stop them eventually from being like, oh, I don't want you to sell Wolfenstein anymore because it goes against the party I like. And for anybody who doesn't know what Wolfenstein's about, called Be a Badass, Punch a Nazi. But that's an extreme. But it's like, that is a slippery slope where if you let other organizations basically strong arm a service provider, which Valve is a service provider of gaming of a game central thing with Steam. If they can strong arm them to remove items, what's going to stop them from like kind of it's a slippery slope of because that's the thing. I think the argument I'm seeing is not people being like, oh, they got rid of my porn games. That's not the argument. The argument's like a third party shouldn't be using and the payment processing company shouldn't be strong arming a company to remove stuff. Because that is a very quick and very slippery slope of them going from, oh yeah, we want to get rid of these controversial like content games to, oh, I just don't like this game, remove it because reason being I said so. And other just or like Puritan like religious fruitcakes, because that's the other part of the problem too. And it's been kind of on a lot of people's like front mind too, because the adult content site Fansly, which is an alternative to OnlyFans, kind of just did the same thing recently, where I think last I heard was MasterCard basically went to Fansly and said, "Hey, we don't want our payment processing thing to be tied to furries." That's it. That was it. It was they basically did that whole freaking like what is that, like early 2000s conspiracy thing saying, oh, if you are a furry, you like to do explicit activities to animals. No. Just no. Like that's just that's it, just no. But it was just annoying because it's like a lot of people lost access to an income doing, what they want to do with the adult content. But the thing is, they didn't stop at just being like, oh, it can't be anybody wearing a fursuit or using like a virtual like full fursuit model. It's all the way to the point now where you like they made it very vague and it's very obnoxious, where they basically turned around and were like, oh yeah, you can't even have like cat ears on your head. You can't have the word dog or puppy. You know, it's like say like you're like, oh, I'm your little puppy girl. You can't say that. And it's like, okay, I mean, yeah, some of that shit can be weird. Like I may be a furry, but I'm not. I don't smell. Let's put it that way. I'm one of those. I'm not your cliche. What you think of a furry? Like, I can hold conversations with people in real life. I don't smell. Also, I'm not your traditional furry because I can't afford a fursuit. But that's a different topic. But no, it's just weird because it's like, again, it's not Fansly themselves being like, oh, we updated our terms of service and stuff. It's literally a card company basically being like, oh, we're just gonna stop processing payments unless you do what we say, and the part that kills me is like the adult entertainment porn industry. I feel like I guess people have not learned to not touch that. I mean, as long as it's not illegal shit happening and it's stuff happening between consenting adults, leave it be. Because guess what? Sex sells. It really does. The adult content porn industry and shit is very, very lucrative. Like I don't know. If I was a processing company that made money off of transactions, I would not say shit. I would, if anything, I'd help promote it because that'd be where all the money is going. Because when people be horny, they spend money, and I don't know. It's just one of those Puritan, like boomer. It's just one of those boomer things where I don't know. It's just weird and that. I don't know. It's just kind of ridiculous because they like try to label that as like, you know, like content that promotes, you know, assaulting animals, but it's just like, okay, that's not, but like they don't touch anybody that uses like fantasy, you know, fantasy adult toys that could be based off animals' parts. Like I don't know. It's weird. Where they're going after that one group. But it's kind of that whole thing that we've seen everywhere where like I'm trying to not get political, but a lot hard to when I kind of talk like this. But it's you start by suppressing one small group, and then once you get successful at removing this small content where you know you won't have too much pushback, you push further. Because then what's gonna stop, you know, the payment processing thing going back to fans and being like, oh, this people who identify as this we don't want on your you can't have them on your platform anymore, else we're gonna remove, you know, payment processing support, or you know, if you know that like they can go down to a very slippery bigotry slope once they realize they can actually strong arm a company. And I don't know, I feel like nobody learned after Tumblr did that, where they said, oh yeah, all like NSFW art and stuff cannot be on here anymore, and Tumblr basically just died overnight. And I don't know, and it's dumb. It's just like it's all consenting adults doing, you know, what they want. Stop. I guess just stop. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just over here. I'm just over here just yapping away. ADHD playing Satisfactory, well, kind of flying around my factory and Satisfactory while doing this. Which, oh my god, I forgot how much of a time sink this game is. Satisfactory is turned into like my Minecraft now, where I won't touch it for like 6 months, and then I'll just go on like a 2-3 week binge of any bit of free time I have. I'll play it, and stuff. And I don't know, it's gonna take me a while because I'm technically on the last phase of the space elevator, and it's gonna take me forever to get these components. So yeah. What else? Let's see, what else is what else has gone on? I'm trying to think if there's any other little things to bring up other than, you know, ranting about all that junk. No, really. It's playing a lot more of that. I've been planning on playing more of the Wild Salt. Yeah, I don't know. There ain't really too much more to um like. I guess for other goofy news is we all took a quick lesson today of this past week of if you are having an affair and going to a concert with your mistress, don't overreact when the camera lands on you if it gets you onto a jumbotron. We learned that one quickly to not act like that. That was fucking funny. And to like, all I gotta say to that is yeah, still fuck CEOs. Like just fuck them all. Don't care. People have been like, wow, like everybody's trying to ruin these people's lives. They did it themselves, honestly. Because if they really I think it was Bill Burr said it too, was like if they just kind of like brushed it off and did not react the way they did, it probably would have like I mean, yeah, there's still a chance that maybe one of the employees at that company would have seen the video and been like, hey, that ain't your wife that you're like, embracing. Uh they probably it would not have gotten attention. Nobody would have given two shits. But no, they had to like freak out. People are stupid. Yeah, when in doubt, there you go. That sums it all up perfectly. People are stupid. Oh, right, I forgot. One other thing I did where thinking about the podcast, I kind of just remembered too. Oh yeah, by the way, these podcast episodes are going to be chaotic because ADHD go burr for sure. But yeah, no. One other thing I'm going to do with this podcast is I do plan on trying to get guests on which if I have guests on, I'm trying to. I guess it might depend on who the guest is and stuff as well. But it's like I'm trying to decide if like have a guest to join me, which probably won't happen until after I move, just because with how chaotic things are now, I have so much to focus on that I trying to schedule a time to have somebody else be available to record an episode would just be too much. But no, one thing I'm trying to figure out with that is if I have like when I have guests on, I'm just gonna do your standard QA interview type thing, or do something more, or if it's just yapping, having them join me in yapping about stuff, which I almost think is gonna be it might be more like a casual. I'm not actually no, the interview is not. Is it no, it's the interview. I'm trying to. But yeah, no, like I mean, probably I don't know. But yeah, probably just kind of do something like that where we'll still have like some kind of have like a traditional ish kind of QA type thing with someone, but like also just kind of yap about stuff. Because I know one guest that will probably be my first one because they kind of mentioned it when I tweeted about this. That I was I know they own a coffee shop, so I'm gonna be probably asking them a shit ton of coffee questions. So like that's where I think too is like I might do like casual like questioning types, kind of your standard question stuff, but at the same time, just kind of have some fun with it. Maybe play like a goofy game, or I don't know. I'll figure it out. And again, it may evolve over time. Just because I want to. I don't know. The big thing at the end of the day with these podcasts, I'm just gonna make them very just chill, nothing too wild. I guess you could say low IQ, smooth brain content making, where I don't have to go in here and uh um have to plan too hard for these. Just kind of let them happen. And yeah, no, I think that'll be kind of it with that. Also make it so like I don't have to try editing. Just make it so like that, like all I have to do for editing would be like, oh, just add a video component and call it a day or something ridiculous. I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm curious to see how this goes, see where this goes. Again, it's just something fun, just something additional to kind of branch out a little bit. Sorry, yeah, I just got distracted with playing Satisfactory here, just unlocked something. Yeah. But I think for that though, this will conclude the conclude the podcast for today and stuff. Just yapping on, and more stuff will come up. It should be discussed about, especially because I'll have a week gap and stuff. So I'll try to maybe remember to take some notes on what I may want to talk about. Yeah. But yeah, with that though, for those if this who may not know, you can catch me on Twitch and Twitter. Twitch, it is my Twitch is BoadsVT, BeaudsVT, and my Twitter is Boads_VT, so Beauds_VT. Those will be where you can find me. Oh, and also BoadsVT on YouTube as well, where I upload these podcasts, like, are both on YouTube and Spotify. And I don't know, maybe some other video content. Definitely like my shorts and all that stuff. And whatnot. So yeah. But with that though, I think this will conclude the podcast for today. I appreciate you all listening, and I will hopefully see you on the next one. Computer, give me OBS. Let me turn this off.